Well, hello my fine gardening friends. How the devil are you? Well, it is a beautiful, cool, early spring day still here in Nova Scotia. It is something like April the 17th. It's a Saturday anyway, it's Easter Saturday, or whatever they call it nowadays. But I'm here in the veg garden, and if we just pause a sec and listen out, we have one of the unmistakable sounds of spring here in my back garden anyway, of the peepers that are the frogs that are in the rivers, the river that sort of winds all the way around my property. And in the springtime they're busy calling to each other, looking for a mate. So a beautiful sound in the evening times here in my part of Nova Scotia anyway, the peepers. Beautiful sound. So spring it is. Days are getting longer, days are getting warmer. Really pleased about that, even though I'm obviously still in my spring gear. But today has been a beautiful sunny day, and I thought I would plant up some onion sets. And I've got a couple of different types of onion sets. I also normally sow onion seeds as well, but I thought I was in the shop and I did a bit of an impulse buy today. So I've got some white onions, some Spanish golden globe, and some red onion sets. Et voila! And I thought I'd do a bit of an experiment as well. I like to do an experiment. So I've got two beds, same sort of beds here, one here, one behind me, and I'm going to sow them in a couple of different ways, or plant them. I can't remember what you do with sets. Do you plant or do you sow? Either way, they're going in the ground. So one way, I'm going to use the sort of Charles Dowding method, where he plants them in multi-sows, so in little groups. And then the other one, I'm just going to use the traditional rows, and I'm going to see sort of, you know, what comes out with a better yield. I know that the multi-sowing way, which I often do as well, you get slightly smaller onions, but you can get more onions in the same sort of space. So it normally balances out. But I thought I'd do a bit more of a sort of a proper experiment when I've got two beds the same, and you know, it's all there to see, no magic involved. Anyway, why don't we get down to actually planting these sets? Right, so number one thing when I'm planting or sowing in these beds on these stones, and my old knobbly knees, is some knee pads. Let me just settle myself down. Right, okay. So in this first bed, I'm going to do the old Charles Dowding sort of method. So I've got these onion sets, and you know, you can use sets or seeds. I just like to use sets as well because, you know, you got a bit of a head start there, nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is plant these in a little group, and as you can see, so I'm going to plant about five sets in a small circle, and I'm going to plant them so just about the tip there is showing above the ground. So let's put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's have a little look at them. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a nice little tight grouping there. So you might think they're close together, but you know, the onions will grow up and they'll push each other out a little bit, but that grouping should give you a good size onion. And obviously I've got 5 in that small area. If you're doing spring onions, you can normally do like 7 to 9 in the same sort of area. So we'll keep going along here. Give a bit of a space. I'll have sort of about that much gap in between my sets. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one in the middle. And again, start off there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I'm going to carry on going along here. I've got whites, I'm going to do whites here and then reds, you know, in the other half, and then we'll have a look at planting up the normal, the traditional way. Right, slight change of plan. I've sowed 2 rows of white and 2 rows of red, and I've got 4, 8, 12, 16 in each row. And I think I've got actually room here to plant another couple of rows. Rather than wasting another whole bed of onions, I can do a couple of rows here and we can see the difference between the 2 lots that way. I think that'll be just as good. We'll have a look anyway. So, white onions first again. So, what does it say? The old distance apart on here then. Should be 6 to plant sets 6 inches apart. Okay, so my row, last row of the 4s are here. So I'm going to start here. 1, that's about 6, 2, 3. So already I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to be able to plant that many. I might bring it in a little bit to say 4 inches apart. So it's a bit more than a finger. Remember, I'm just having the tips of the onions above the soil, just so I can mark them. I reckon I can get another set, and I'm going to plant these like in a diagonal grid, so in the middle, so that means I can space them out a bit better. Where's that? There. But I'm still, what did I get in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's probably half the number of onions in this row. They may be a bit bigger, but we'll see. There we go. So I'll get 1 row of white onions in. I've still got some white onions left, but I'm going to put these in my bed where I'm going to grow all sorts of different veg in one bed, like a small garden bed. So that will be for another day. But we've got some onions in there. Let's get the red ones in. So I'll be able to get 1 row of red, or 1 or 2 rows of red. So where are we? Here. Bit of a breeze getting up now. It's been quite still here in Nova Scotia today. Well, sorry, in Hubbards, where I live. And a beautiful day, sunny day. But I went for a walk up in Halifax in a beautiful park right on the seafront called Point Pleasant Park, and went with some friends, blowing an absolute hoolie. It was literally hat blowing off weather. Did that walk, quite cold in the, you know, in the wind. Got back here, still as you like. It's only like 30 minutes away. Weather, eh? Right, should be able to get 1 more row in here then. Right, so obviously I've got a lot less onions here than I have with the, I'll call it the Charles Dowding method. Probably someone else invented it years ago, but Charles has made it famous. In his cracking garden there in Somerset in England. Anyway, and if you haven't heard of Charles Dowding, I'd definitely check his videos out. Absolute master. Right, so there we go. I've got probably 16, 32 32 onions in the Charles Dowding method of each type, and here I've got probably 14 to 16 of each type. But these are spaced more apart. These are closer together. Let the experiment begin. It's all exciting, isn't it? Job's a good one. See you later.